All right, everyone, welcome in. This week, we're buckling up for a deep dive into something that always gets me fired up, the world of startup funding.
Always exciting to see where the money's flowing, right? Gives us a glimpse into the future, what we might see hitting the market a few years down the line.
Exactly. And we're focusing on the week of June 24th to July 1st this time around, digging into Bearhug Recruiting's latest roundup. I always appreciate how they curate their lists. It's not just about who raked in the big bucks, but about companies with real potential to shake things up.
Absolutely. They cut through the noise and highlight those companies that aren't just chasing hype, but are actually developing tech with serious impact potential. So where do we even begin with this week's roundup? Any big picture trends that jumped out at you right away?
Well, it's pretty hard to ignore the elephant, or maybe the AI in the room, so to speak. AI is everywhere in this roundup.
It really is inescapable, isn't it? But here's the thing, it's not enough to just slap AI powered on your pitch deck anymore. Investors are getting much more discerning. They want to see specific applications, a clear understanding of how AI is going to move the needle.
Okay, so spill the tea. What specific flavors of AI are investors craving these days?
Well, generative AI is obviously having a major moment, but I'd say even more interesting is this laser focus on optimization. We're seeing a ton of investment in AI for automation, for streamlining workflows. Honestly, I think part of it is about companies looking to reduce reliance on large workforces, especially in this uncertain economic climate.
Hmm. Yeah, adapting to the current reality while also innovating for the future. It's not just about building something cool. It's about building something that makes business sense in the here and now. And that focus on efficiency, it ties in nicely with another trend that's really taken root, sustainability.
Absolutely. It's everywhere you look, and it's not just lip service anymore. Investors are putting their money where their mouths are, and companies like Aikido Technologies are reaping the benefits. They secured funding for their floating wind technology, tapping into deeper water resources, minimizing visual impact. It's a long-term play, both financially and environmentally.
Floating wind farms.
Yeah.
That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. I'm picturing massive turbines just bobbing out there on the open ocean.
And what's even cooler is that Aikido is aiming to demonstrate their first platform this year. This isn't just a pie-in-the-sky idea, it's becoming a reality. And speaking of turning vision into reality, another trend I noticed was this real emphasis on customer experience. Companies like Hark are using video and audio feedback to get really granular insights into how customers feel about products and services.
Now that's brilliant. Forget those boring old tech surveys. We're talking real emotion, real nuance captured through video. It's like a focus group in the palm of your hand.
Exactly. And of course, that's where AI comes back in, right? Analyzing those videos, picking up on sentiment and subtleties that might be missed in text alone. It could revolutionize product development, customer interactions. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
It's like giving companies a sixth sense when it comes to understanding their customers.
Yeah.
And on that note of AI changing the game, what about GrayMatter Robotics? I read they're developing robots for those really tough, labor-intensive tasks.
Yeah, they're focusing on aerospace and manufacturing in particular, but what makes them really interesting is their robot as a service, or RAAS model.
RAS. Break that down for me. I'm not familiar with that one.
It's all about making robotics more accessible, especially for businesses that might not have the upfront capital to, build out a whole robot army. Think of it like subscribing to software, but instead of software, you're getting access to these cutting-edge robots.
So it's not just about the robots themselves. It's about making this technology attainable for a wider range of companies. That has huge implications for smaller businesses trying to compete, for the future of manufacturing in general,
Yeah.
even for the job market as a whole, right?
Exactly. And speaking of potential game changers, we have to talk about Factory. They're automating software engineering tasks using AI to handle things like code review, testing, even documentation.
Hold on. AI that can do my documentation. Sign me up.
Yeah.
But seriously, that could be huge for developer productivity. What kind of companies are already using this?
They've already got some big names on board, like Bubble and Nav. Clearly, they're addressing a real need in the industry for faster, more efficient development cycles. But it does make you wonder, in a world where AI can handle so much of the heavy lifting, what happens to the role of the software engineer?
It's the question that always comes up with AI, right? Are we training our replacements? Almost feels like a philosophical debate at times. But we can save that for another deep dive. For now, there's another company on this list that I'm really intrigued by, and it's like that saying, trust but verify. Except in this case, it's more like verify, verify, verify again, and then maybe trust. Okay, so we've got AI, Sustainability, automation, cybersecurity. This is a lot to process.
It really is, and honestly, we've only just scratched the surface of what this week's funding roundup has to offer.
Okay, so we've definitely established that AI is having a moment, to put it mildly. But there was one company on the list, Substrate, that got me thinking about the future of AI development itself. You know, they're building AI infrastructure, but with an API for modular AI. Does that make sense?
It's fascinating, right? It's like they're creating building blocks for AI, making it easier for developers to create these complex AI programs without having to reinvent the wheel every single time.
That's huge because right now, building advanced AI feels like this exclusive club, right?
Mhm.
Only the tech giants with tons of resources can really play in that space. But if Substrate can give developers the tools to streamline that whole process, it could unleash a wave of innovation from smaller companies, maybe even individuals.
Exactly, democratizing access to sophisticated AI development. And they're not just focused on making it easier, they're also really emphasizing efficiency. They want to make sure these AI programs run smoothly, quickly.
Because what good is an AI that takes 3 days to answer a simple question?
Oh,
It's got to be instantaneous. Speaking of speed and efficiency, Maxterial caught my eye, but for a totally different reason. They're all about advanced coatings, but with this eco-friendly twist.
it just shows that sustainability is truly everywhere. Even industries that we might not think of as being on the cutting edge of, environmentalism are finding ways to innovate.
Right, it's like coatings. How innovative can you get with coatings? But Maxterial is proving that even in established industries, there's room to do things better, both for the bottom line and for the planet.
And that's a powerful message to send to investors. Sustainability isn't just a marketing buzzword anymore, it's a core value that can drive real business results.
For sure. And speaking of unexpected applications of technology, we have to talk about sewer AI. I mean, the name alone, it's intriguing.
Not exactly the sexiest topic, I'll grant you that. But when you think about how critical our sewer systems are for public health, for infrastructure, it makes sense that this sector is ripe for disruption.
It does. But what does sewer AI actually do? Do they have tiny robots crawling through the pipes or something?
Not quite robots, but they are using AI and computer vision to make sewer inspection and maintenance more efficient. So instead of relying on those manual inspections, which can be dangerous and time-consuming, sewer AI can analyze images, data, and identify potential problems before they turn into major headaches.
It's like giving our sewer systems a much-needed technological upgrade. And that's not just good for efficiency, it's good for the environment too, right? Preventing leaks and spills before they happen.
Absolutely. It highlights how AI can be used not just for flashy new gadgets, but to improve those essential services that we often take for granted.
Essential, but often invisible, kind of like accounting, right? And speaking of which, Final Loop made the list for tackling a pain point that I think a lot of e-commerce businesses can relate to.
Ah, yes, accounting. Everyone's favorite.
Said no one ever. But seriously, Final Loop is using AI to basically automate the entire accounting process for e-commerce businesses. Bookkeeping, reconciliation, tax-ready financials. Imagine the time and mental energy that frees up for entrepreneurs.
It's about working smarter, not harder, right? And that's a message that resonates no matter what industry you're in, but especially in the fast-paced world of e-commerce, where time really is money.
Absolutely. Okay, before we get too bogged down in the nitty-gritty of accounting software, let's jump over to another company that caught my eye, ValueBase. They're using AI and machine learning for property valuations.
Interesting application. And their target audience is pretty specific. They're working with government assessment and revenue agencies, making sure that property valuations are accurate, fair.
So it's about bringing transparency and accountability to a process that can often feel like a black box, right? No more guessing games when it comes to property taxes.
Exactly. It shows how AI can actually be a tool for good governance, using data to make better decisions that benefit everyone.
Love that. Okay, last but not least, we have to talk about Scoop Analytics. Any company that makes data analytics more accessible gets a gold star in my book.
I hear you. Data is only useful if you can understand it, act on it, right? But a lot of businesses, they don't have that in-house expertise. They're missing out on valuable insights because they don't know how to unlock them.
And that's where Scoop Analytics steps in. They're all about demystifying data, making it usable for everyone, not just the data scientists of the world.
Their platform is designed to be intuitive, user-friendly. empowering everyone in a business to make those data-driven decisions, regardless of their technical skills.
I'm getting serious data envy right now. If
Duh.
only every company made it this approachable.
Right. It's about giving everyone access to the information they need to do their jobs better, make smarter decisions,
Yeah.
ultimately drive better outcomes.
It's like giving everyone in the company a superpower, the power of data.
I like that analogy.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from AI-powered sewer inspections to the democratization of data analytics. What a whirlwind.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? And it just speaks to the sheer breadth of innovation happening right now.
I know, right? It really does feel like we've gotten a sneak peek into the future, and it's looking pretty incredible. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, how about a quick recap of those last few companies, just to make sure they really stick in our listeners' minds?
Always a good idea. Let's give them one last moment to shine.
All right, lightning round time. We started with Substrate, who were essentially building an AI Lego set for developers, right? With their modular AI platform, you could build these incredibly complex AI programs with way more ease.
Exactly. Democratizing AI development, making it accessible to more than just the tech giants.
Love that. Then there was Maxterial, reminding us that even something as, I don't know, seemingly ordinary as industrial coatings can be a source of innovation, especially when it comes to sustainability.
Proof that every industry has a role to play in building a greener future.
Absolutely. And then we took a deep dive literally into the surprisingly fascinating world of sewer maintenance with sewer AI. Turns out, even the less glamorous parts of our infrastructure can benefit from a tech makeover.
And a very necessary one at that.
For sure. Then we had Final Loop coming in to save the day for all those e-commerce entrepreneurs who are drowning in spreadsheets. AI-powered accounting, what a concept.
It's the dream, right? Freeing up those entrepreneurs to focus on what they're really passionate about, not just number crunching.
Couldn't agree more. And then there was ValueBase, bringing transparency and fairness to the world of property valuations with their AI platform. Using tech for good governance. I'm here for it.
Me too. It's a great example of how powerful data can be when it's used thoughtfully.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Scoop Analytics is out there proving that data analytics doesn't have to be intimidating, making those insights accessible to everyone in an organization.
Unlocking the power of data for everyone, what's not to love?
I know, right? Okay, I don't know about you, but my brain is officially fried, but also completely buzzing with ideas after that deep dive.
Right there with you. It's inspiring to see so much innovation happening, so many companies pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It really is. But with all this talk about what's next, what's coming down the pipeline, it's important to remember that these innovations will have a ripple effect, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's vital to ask those tough questions. How will this technology change the way we work, how we live? What are the ethical implications we need to consider?
Exactly. These aren't just abstract concepts. They'll have real-world consequences that we need to be prepared for.
Precisely. And those are conversations that we'll definitely continue to have here on the Deep Dive. Because it's not enough to just get excited about the latest shiny new thing, right? We need to understand its potential impact, good and bad.
For sure. So listener, we've given you a glimpse into the future of tech, the companies, and the innovations that are shaping tomorrow. What resonated with you? What questions are swirling around in your head?
Let us know, because your curiosity just might spark our next deep dive.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep your eyes on the horizon.
The future is waiting to be discovered.